was not contagious was Brighton's performance yesterday. How disappointed were you in Brighton, or were we seeing signs all along that this could happen?
Nick, I think you have to be fair to them. On the one hand, you could say that Brighton played, they're a little bit naive, weren't they? Playing out from the back in the way they do, but that is their style. But they've got 11 potential first-team players out at the moment. I know they had options on the bench that could have started, but they really have been hampered by injuries. And I think it's just caught up with them this season. I think it was two things here. Two things collided. They weren't great last night by any stretch of the imagination. And Manchester City, they just steamrolled them, didn't they? They did what they did. And, well, so comprehensive, it was the first time we've ever seen Kevin De Bruyne score with a header in the Premier League. And what a header as well, by the way. A diving header. So, yeah, they just swatted them aside. But what I found really interesting was what Pep Guardiola said after the game, because he was asked about Arsenal and Arsenal thrashing Chelsea on the Tuesday night, 5-0. He didn't use that as motivation. He used the Liverpool loss as motivation, and he reiterated it post-match. He said, this can happen to anybody. It can happen to Liverpool, it can happen to Arsenal, it can happen to us. So the message to his players is, we take nothing for granted. And he also referenced again Everton. He said, look, fighting for their lives in relegation. It will be similar when we go to Nottingham Forest on Sunday. We have to be on our guard.
Jeff, while Brighton certainly didn't look good, Manchester City just continues to look good. They're on a hell of a streak, and I think in the run-in, they're the only team that I think Charlie and I both agree that can really cause them any problems is possibly Tottenham, who I think are still left to play all three potentially in the title race, because they play Arsenal and they do play Liverpool as well. What do you think the chances are of that? Do you think anyone can really cause much of a threat to the City team?
I think when we looked, Alexis, I don't know if you remember, I think it was a couple of weeks back, we looked at the table. We all did our own impersonation of the Opta supercomputer and said what would happen. And I think we all identified. Tottenham are very much kingmakers, aren't they, for this Premier League title? They play all three of them on the bounce. So it's going to be fascinating to see what happens. And the thing is as well, of course, as Nigel will tell you, Tottenham are locked in a battle with Aston Villa for that all-important fourth Champions League spot. So it's not as though they've got nothing to play for. They've got a huge fight on their own hands as well. And it's going to be... They are the only team, I agree with you, if you were looking at the table, if you like, and saying, OK, that's where the banana skin is for any of these three teams. But, again, look at it. Would you have said Everton? Would you have said Crystal Palace for Liverpool?
Yes.
No. So, it's, yeah, well, if you would have, Charlie, please do my lottery numbers for next week, because nobody saw that coming, did they?
Jeff, let's stick on the North London derby. Like, I tried to explain over here for the international American fan base to understand about derbies and how important this is. Tell us...
Are you calling us ignorant?
Some of you, yes. Yes, I am. Let the people know, Jeff, how big a derby this is and just what's at stake. Like you said, Tottenham pushing Aston Villa for that fourth place finish, but also the rivalry of what would make Tottenham more happier than potentially stopping Arsenal being able to win the Premier League title in the derby. Just how big a game is it?
Well, I think you're absolutely on point, Nigel. I think for Tottenham on Sunday, it's not just three crucial and vital points available. It's the potential to put the spoke in the wheel of Arsenal's title challenge as well. For them, in their supporters' minds, that's as good as 6 points. Nothing. The beer would not taste better on Sunday evening if Tottenham have got another 3 points back and have put a real dent in Arsenal's title challenge, because there's just so few games to go now. We know about the rivalry. And this is a really, really tough fixture. In this North London derby, I know Charlie and Alexis will be supporting Arsenal. Of course, Nigel, you will as well this weekend with your Villa allegiance. But only once in the last 19 has the away team won this fixture. That's how much it means to the fans, to the players. They do not want to get beaten on their home ground. However, I would say that team was Arsenal back in 2023. So Arsenal have got a fantastic record right now. They've got the best away record in the Premier League as well. Their defence is superb, and they've had a very, very good week after disappointing loss to Villa, and also going out of the Champions League. So they'll go there with high hopes. They'll go there with a strong mentality. But what I'll be interested to know from you, Nigel, you as well, Charlie, Tottenham haven't played for 14 days. In that time, Arsenal have played 4 games. And they've come off the back of 2 really, really good victories. Tottenham's last game was a heavy loss away to Newcastle United. Do you think this layoff will be in Tottenham's favour, or could it work against them?
I would say work against them. Just because the way that Arsenal is coming into this fixture, the form, and to be honest, I think Arteta feels like he's gotten the right team. You know, when you throw in Tomiyasu playing at left back now, I think that was a big upgrade from Kiwior, even Zinchenko defensively. So I think right now Arsenal have all the confidence, are coming in. Even though they've played that many fixtures, I think that it benefits them in this case, whereas Tottenham, coming off that loss, they're still trying to figure things out. Yes, you want to get rid of that bad taste in your mouth, but it's not as easy as just stepping on the pitch and beating Arsenal.
Yeah, the momentum definitely is with Arsenal, I would say. And it's like being a player when you're in the rhythm and then your manager thinks you're playing too many games and wants to take you out for your own benefit. But as a player, you hate it because you lose the rhythm that you're in. So I would say that the momentum's definitely in favour of Arsenal. But at the same time, Tottenham at home plays a big part. And I'd have to say the Tottenham fans are going to play a massive part in how this game turns out.
As Nico would always say, these rivalries, it doesn't matter the form when you come in. You got to take that out.
Well,
because anything can happen. But Jeff, I want to talk about another massive club.
It's a good impression.
In London.
He's got a point. He's got a point.
In Chelsea, they get absolutely walloped, 5-0 to Arsenal. But this is a chance at redemption, traveling to Villa against a side that is coming in confident, just beating Bournemouth, having the Champions League place in their sight. Do you feel that Chelsea getting Cole Palmer back can get a result here?
No. Anyway, go on, Jeff.
I didn't realise I threw my voice then. I must get paid extra as a ventriloquist. I know where Nigel is on this, obviously. He's going to be right on Villa's side. And I have to say, I think I'll probably agree with him. You know, you've got to make Villa strong favourites here, haven't you? I mean, Chelsea didn't just get beat at Arsenal. They fell apart in the second half. And what would really worry me, if I was a Chelsea fan, was when Mauricio Pochettino said, you know, we gave up. We didn't try hard enough. That is such a damning statement. To be honest with you, I'm surprised not a lot more was made of it. Yes, Cole Palmer being back is a huge boost for them because he is so important to them. But, you know, more news today. Fernandes out, end of the season, done his groin. He's had an operation. So I think Chelsea are just stumbling from one game to another, and the end of the season cannot come quick enough. They really need to regroup and reset. I think Villa will fancy their chances big style. Absolutely big style on that one because, okay, Chelsea have got the players who can hurt you on their day, but it doesn't seem to be enough of those days, and also it doesn't seem to happen enough for all of the players. 1 or 2 might have a good game, but a cohesive team performance we're just not seeing.
So I guess what Jeff is saying is that if we're betting men, which we will be in the last segment of the show, we should have put a couple extra quid on Villa. I see what you're saying, Jeff.
A few shekels.
Villa at Villa Park? Yeah, 100%.
Thanks for your insight, Jeff.
All day.
I'm picking up what you're dropping, you know what I'm saying?
All right, we'll see if that comes back towards the end of the show. Jeff, cheers.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy.
Cheers.